All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Stand Tall. It's November 12th, and we are moving into chapter 3 of The Art of War. Very exciting attack stratagems. So let's dive right into the first verse. Verse 1. In the practical art of war, the best thing of all is to take the enemy's country whole and intact. To shatter and destroy it is not so good. So, too, it is better to capture an army entire than to destroy it, to capture a regiment, a detachment, or a company entire than to destroy it. I don't know what the alternate translation says, but I think that this goes to show and say a lot along the lines of you attract more flies with honey than vinegar, in the sense of, it's better to keep things together, because you can then utilize those resources. And if you're hiring somebody, better just, like, take them as they are instead of trying to change them or whatever. And if you're interviewing for a job, don't try to be someone you're not. Planning a siege, out of the alternate translation, Master Sun says the general rule for use of the military is that it is better to keep a nation intact than to destroy it. It is better to keep an army intact than to destroy it. Better to keep a division intact than to destroy it. Better to keep a battalion intact than to destroy it. Better to keep a unit intact than to destroy it. It's a good thing we just did one, because we have a whole page of reflections from the other generals. Cao says that if you raise an army and penetrate deeply into your opponent's territory, keeping on the move, blocking the space between the inner stronghold and the outer city walls, cutting off communications between inside and outside, then if the opponent surrenders completely, that is best. If you attack destructively and take a nation by force, that is a lesser accomplishment. Lin says that if you keep the opponent's nation intact, then your own nation will also be intact, so this is best. Li Quan says this means that killing is not the important thing. Du Yu says it is best if an enemy nation comes and surrenders of its own accord. To attack and defeat it is inferior to this. Ho Yang-chi says that the best policy is to use strategy, influence, and the trend of events to cause the adversary to submit willingly. Zhang Yu quoted a statement by Wei Liaoxi: practicing martial arts, assess your opponents. Cause them to lose spirit and direction so that even if the opposing army is intact, it is useless. This is winning by the Tao. If you destroy the opposing army and kill the generals, mount the ramparts by shooting, gather a mob and usurp the land, this is winning by force. Zhang Yu then went on to explain that so winning by the Tao and winning by force mean the same as keeping a nation intact and destroying a nation. Treating the people mercifully while punishing criminals, gaining complete victory with the country intact is best. Wang Chi said, nation, army, division, battalion, unit, great or small, keep it intact and your dignity will be improved thereby. Destroy it and your dignity will suffer. Interesting. I think this just is a lot of ways to say that if you conquer without force, you're better, in so many words. Because if you have to be a brute, your dignity will suffer. But if you're not brutish and you're able to do it by strategy and being more intelligent, that's the way to go. Let's go over to the Daily Stoic, a book that everybody needs to pick up a copy of. November 12th. Let's see what reflection we have today from Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hanselman. The strong accept responsibility. If we judge as good and evil only the things in the power of our own choice, then there is no room left for blaming gods or being hostile to others. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations 6.41. A sign on President Harry Truman's desk read, "The buck stops here." As president, with more power and control than pretty much anyone else, he knew that, good or bad, there wasn't anyone he could blame for stuff other than himself. There was no one to pass the buck to. The chain ended there, in the Oval Office. As the president of our own lives, and knowing that our powers begin with each of our reasoned choices, we would do well to internalize the same attitude. We don't control things outside that sphere, but we do control our attitudes and our responses to those events, and that's plenty. It is enough that we go into each and every day knowing that there is no one to pass the buck to. It ends with us. Amor fati, right? When we accept that the ultimate responsibility of our lives falls on us and nobody else, that's when we can truly stand tall.